Hi, I'm Suzanne Tick. I'm here in the New York studio, and I'm here to share with you our color wall. We put this together during COVID because we had the time to sit and really look at how each color has impact in the entire Luum collection. So what we're going to show you today is the piece from our CEU that we created called The Science and Intuition of Color. So we worked on this as we were creating our narrative for 2021, which is all about nature and people and working remotely and how we interact with one another. And each of those collections really are represented on this wall. And now having all of the fabrics of our palette up on the wall, it makes it even more important that everything that we do is intentional, it's holistic, it's the totality of what our entire collection is about. So it's interesting now because we're at this pivot point where people are coming back to their office, they're leaving their home, they're walking into the environment, and is what you have in your environment now how you want to live and work? And so these intermediary colors, I think, are really, really important now. It's not about really the strong chroma, but it's about those in-between colors that I think are going to be really, really supportive of our well-being. So in working on this CEU, it was really the catalyst for building this color wall. And Albert Munsell was a theorist, and he came up with the concept of hue and values and chroma. And so when we were looking at his color tree, we thought this would be fantastic to look at our collection in that way. So you've got the values going from top to bottom of each color, and then you've got your hues going from one color to the next across the wall. So the color process now for us, seeing what our wall looks like and seeing what our 990 upholstery fabrics are, is really an additive process. So as we build our palette in the future, we'll see where there's color holes and where we have no color at all, or see where we need to expand more. Each collection, we sit down and think about what's happening in architecture and art, what's happening in nature, and what's happening in fashion. So we may be getting texture from those inspiration points, we may be color from those inspiration points, but they're all in there, and we can see them all as we lay out our wall. When we were studying the color theorists, we came up with Sir Isaac Newton, and he came up with the theory behind the color spectrum, which is really what Roy G. Biv was, and he came up with that when he was in quarantine. And so we were thinking, wow, what about that parallel? So that's when we thought, let's put our color spectrum up on the wall and look at everything that we have in the Luum brand. You know, we talked about both the hues and the values of color, but chroma is really, really important too, because it really allows us to pop colors. And one of the things we learned about Mary Gartzeit's work is that she talks about the lighter the color, how it comes towards you. So you see on our wall, when the colors are lighter in value, sharper in chroma, they really come towards you. And it's a great way to think about designing spaces, I think. It's something that I hadn't really heard about, and she, as a watercolorist, brought that to our attention from the 1800s. So now that the wall is here, we'll use this as a tool every time we launch new products. And if you think that this will be helpful for you, please come to the studio and use this for color selection or pattern selection and see how this whole collection is laid out. It's open as a tool not only for our studio, but for you, the design community, to come and visit and look at colors and palettes and textures and see if it's something that would be usable for you.